one of the huge problems for evolution that just gets glossed over and ignored for the most part by the world around us in the academic world. And it's also this enormous evidence for the creation of very specific and very different kind of creatures is a thing called living fossils. Now, fossils are animals or parts of animals or plants that have been captured under rock layers that have formed from sediment underwater. And by looking at these, we can compare the things lived in the past with the things that are alive today. Now, for evolution to be true, you have to have had bacteria, the simplest form of life, transforming itself all the way into sea creatures and seaweed and sea vegetation and then sea animals and then fish with backbones. And then those crawled onto land and became amphibians that became reptiles that changed scales into fur and feathers and became birds and mammals and finally monkeys and people. So this enormous continuous transformation of one kind of an animal and another, supposedly happening over about 500 million years of Earth history. Now, why do people believe that? Because the alternative is God literally created very specific forms of life. Now, there's lots of variety within a given kind of creature, but very different kinds having been created. So what does the fossil record actually show? Well, as you look at fossils, and we'll start with a Petoskey stone, because lots of these kind of rocks are found up near Petoskey, Michigan. It's actually fossilized coral. And if you look at it, you can actually see the stems of the coral and the actual tight little polyps of individual coral colonies. It's brain coral, and it looks exactly like brain coral today. So coral is considered to be one of the earliest forms of life. Supposedly over hundreds of millions of years, the fossilized coral looks exactly like modern coral. No change. Now, here's another example. This just looks like a rock that happens to be split in part, and when you open it up, you find a perfect little impression, top and bottom both being there, of a fern. And it looks exactly like a fern today. Ferns in the past look just like ferns today. No evolution, no change. Over here from the Green River area, it's a very fine volcanic ash that has packed and captured things, and you open it up, and top and bottom, you find a perfectly formed little fish with the backbone and the scales and the fins, exactly like a fish today. Same species, same fish. No evolution happening over tens of millions of years. Here's a larger sample of shale from another area where you find little small ferns. You find in amidst the ferns magnolia tree leaves. Magnolia trees leaves in the past look just like magnolia tree leaves today. Matter of fact, Dr. Carl Werner, he published a book called Living Fossils, Evolution, the Grand Experiment. He has, through the pages of this book, 700 examples of creatures that look just like they do today. No evolution happening. See, it's not just an example or two, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples of biological organisms captured in the rock during Noah's flood that look just like the same things that are alive today. See, many creatures died during the flood. Many went extinct because the environment in the world is so different after the flood than before the flood. But where we see that survived, we don't see evolution change. We see examples of God's creative organisms that are still the same as the original kinds He created.